So, Black Lives Matter. They on Joe Biden's neck already. We demand a seat at the table. We demand a seat at the table. We want to sit down with the Kamala Biden presidency. We want to talk to y'all. We want some input in what's going to happen going forward. And you know what that tells me? That tells me exactly what Ice Cube showed me 3-4 weeks ago. That they took you for granted. Because these Black Lives Matter women, as powerful as they are, if they had been sought out, if they had been asked for their input, if they had been queried, if they had been brought to the table by the Biden administration, the Kamala Harris administration previous to this, they wouldn't have to go to the media and complain about it. The reason they're going to the media and complaining about it is because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not sought them out. It's just like Ice Cube. Ice Cube did the same thing. He had that platinum plan signed, sealed, and delivered with Trump months before he came out. He knew you Negroes loved the Democrats, and you would rather, whatever the Republicans gonna give you, you would rather not have it if the Democrats can't give it to you. Whatever you need, if you in a desert and you thirsting for a cup of water, if a Republican come up with a cooler full of Gatorades, you gonna tell them to F off. And if a Democrat come up and ask you to find him some water, you gonna keep searching the desert to try to find him some water. And when you find some, you gonna give it to him before you give it to yourself. But Cube, he already had the platinum plan locked up. Trump had agreed to it. They did the big thing. Trump did the big rollout of the platinum plan and all that stuff, and all the millions of dollars for black people. And Cube said, you know, these niggas wanted from the Democrats. Let me go tap in with the Democrats real quick. And the Democrats was like, Cube, for what? What do you mean? Sit down and talk about some money and they already gonna vote for us. 97% of black women gonna vote for us, regardless. So what do you mean? Come out with some plan for black people. For what? And now you see what happens when you give your vote away for free. Black women, 97% gave their vote for free. Now they're an organization founded by black women, an ambulance chasing foundation that only cares about black lives when they're taken by police officers or white vigilantes, which accounts for probably 0.001% of all the murders, black murders in this country. They've been ignored so much by the Biden-Harris administration that they had to come to the media and basically shame the Harris-Biden presidency, the Harris-Biden ticket in the meeting with them. They had to shame them. They had to literally shame the Harris-Biden. And that's sad, man. When a group votes 97% for one party who's offered them nothing. against another party who's giving them. And this is the thing you got to understand. This is what I want a lot of y'all to look out for in the future. This fake black activist on YouTube. I mean, this fake black YouTuber. Not a specific person, but this one. The black YouTuber, he or she, all of a sudden, yeah, they got some questions for the Democrats. But it's always under the guise of, well, both parties is messed up. I don't trust neither one of them. They two feathers of the same bird. It's the same bird with two wings. They two peas in the pod. Listen, Negro. For 3% of your vote, you got opportunity zones, which Nipsey Hussle used to buy that strip mall. Yeah, Nipsey Hussle and David Gross, they used opportunity zones. Now, you niggas ain't using it. I can't make you drink. I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink. Donald Trump put it out there. Nipsey Hussle used it. And unfortunately, you know, he's no longer with us because I think gunfire erupted or shots rang out or something. Something happened. And he's no longer with us. But yeah, there's a lot of black people using these opportunity zones. Trump freed a lot of he freed a lot of people with the prison reform. Yeah, Trump did prison reform. And he closed the border so low-wage workers wasn't flooding into the country taking jobs from black people. They still coming in, but at least it's a filter on the faucet. The faucet ain't just gushing. It's like a slow drip. It's like when you got a leaky faucet, what the hell, it's dripping. But at least he did something about it. But that's for 3% of your vote from your women. Democrats, for 97% of the vote, they won't even talk to Black Lives Matter, a group that just got over $1 billion in donations since George Floyd died. A group who we learned that many of their donations are funneled into the Democratic Party's campaigns for the Senate and for the presidency. So they basically helped finance Joe Biden's and Kamala Harris' presidential run. And when it was time to sit down at the table, they gave you sisters the stiff arm. And now the sister coming to the media. We demand that they... Yeah, okay. You sisters just don't get it, man. Republicans don't owe you nothing. Stop saying this. They both ain't shit. Republicans don't owe you nothing. They shouldn't have gave you nothing. Donald Trump shouldn't have gave you nothing. Donald Trump shouldn't have did prison reform. He shouldn't have did opportunity zones. Especially when Nipsey Hussle made a song called F Donald Trump. He shouldn't have did opportunity zones. He shouldn't have did prison reform for 3% of your vote, black woman. And now you getting a stiff arm from the Biden Harris. It'd be funny if they count the votes over and Trump win. Cause that's just wrong, man. Even though I ain't rocking with you sisters on this political tip, I hope just because they giving you sisters the stiff arm, curving you sisters after y'all did so much to get them elected. I hope somehow they count the votes over and Trump win. They don't deserve it. The most loyal, only 45% of white women voted for Joe Biden. Not 45. It was 50% this time. That was last time when Hillary was running. Only 50% of white women voted for Joe Biden. I think it was like 60% of Latina women, 65% of Latina women voted for Joe Biden. 65 or 70, something. It was a higher number than usual. But 97% of black women voted for Joe Biden. And he gonna hit you, and Kamala, they gonna hit you with us. They gonna hit you with the not right now. With the I'll get back to you. Damn.
An organization is extending their services to men of all ages in the St. Louis area. Fox News' Michaela McGee spoke with the president of Fathers United to raise awareness. He explains his mission and why it is so near to his heart.
Chester Deans is the president of Futura and someone who has personally experienced the struggles of having an absentee father. He's spent the last 20 years helping men in our area accept their responsibilities as a father and grow as individuals.
See, I have an intimate experience with this. My father left us at the age of 5.
Chester Deans has spent the majority of his adult life mentoring and guiding men of all ages on becoming the best fathers, partners.
These are the men you've raised, sisters. They don't have no fathers. They're void of fathers. They're fatherless. And Biden can't fix that. Kamala Harris can't fix that. This is a great little game you have played. A very slick little game you've played. Placing the problems in your community at Trump's feet. Instead of telling your boys to take advantage of opportunity zones, instead of telling your sons to take advantage of opportunity zones, instead of telling your sons to take advantage of the lowest black unemployment ever and get a job or find a career, instead of telling your kids to go to a HBCU, which Trump funded when Democrats wouldn't in the past, you laid every single problem in your community at his feet. All your failures, all your son's failures, you laid it at his feet. And you focused on the thing that affects black men the least, police brutality. The likelihood of one of the people that's listening to this, one of the black men that's listening to this show, to be police brutalized is very low, extremely low. Even just to come in contact with a police officer, engage with a police officer is very low. But then to get brutalized, and then let alone get killed, is very low. And you put all your energy into that. When your sons need fathers. That was a very slick little game you played. Sleight of hand you played. And everybody fell for it. So good job.
And employees that they can be.
He spoke about success and what to do to get a job and how to keep a job. And I have the resources.
Every Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 p.m., Futura's Man Up Fatherhood program meets at church. Chester and his volunteers sit with fathers, young men, and their children to discuss best practices for a positive parent-child relationship, child support, parenting, education, employment, and healthy lifestyle choices.
That can make a change in their life.
Futura also advocates for legislative policy change.
Missouri has some of the most antiquated laws on their books when it comes to mothers and fathers and parental relationships.
Chester is helping men in our community realize their worth. Just ask Jashawn.
When you feel like you are not enough, think about the one who made you and think about your life that you want to have.
Now to a story from our ABC7 Unite campaign. A mother on a mission to save lives after her son was shot and killed. She started a foundation to stop deaths from gun violence by giving young people better opportunities. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles has a story.
What was it about this program that kept you off the street?
I had people like them that believed in me. maximum potential.
Potential. That's what these young men want people to see in them and invest in. It's something Nadine Sylvester realized needed to happen, but sadly, in the very worst way possible.
Is that kind of why you started this foundation, not only for your son, but for the man who's accused of shooting him?
Yes.
One thing I'm gonna need you sisters to stop doing is salute to this sister. She seems like she's a nice person. Stop living in these communities where 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, over the years, as you're raising your child, 100 motherfucking black men get killed. Many of them even of classmates or associates or friends of your child. And you do nothing. Then when your kid catches a bullet, all of a sudden, you want to march, you want to protest, you want to do all this stuff. Sisters, you got to stop doing that, man. Find these boys' fathers. Raise these boys in homes, two-parent families. Find these boys' fathers. Stop trying to find a glitch, a way around it. There's no way around it, man. All the marching in the world ain't gonna bring that boy back. And every crowd, every kid is got down with the wrong crowd. Every kid hung around the wrong people. None of these women's kids are ever the wrong people. You notice that? None of their kids. And you would just think the community was full of groups of kids just running around. They all being, everybody in the wrong crowd. None of the kids is the leader. None of the kids is the ringleader. They all in the wrong crowd. They all being led astray. Somebody's leading them astray. But yeah, sisters, if you're gonna blame Trump for all your problems, man, you might want to start having this much energy for saving the lives of your kids before they get killed. When the lady down the street kid gets killed. When the lady you work with, her son get killed. When, the lady across the hall's son get killed. When your son's classmate get killed. Stop waiting until it hits your doorstep.
Foundation not only for your son, but for the man who's accused of shooting him?
Yes. When I started to go to court, one of the things that came out of this, he didn't have any other outlet. He turned to this type of outlet, which was hanging with the wrong crowd.
In February 2017, 15-year-old Rohan Levy left his home to play basketball when police say Zidon Clark mistook him for a gang rival, shooting him in the back of the head. He died 3 days later.
No violence! Don't shoot! I want to go out!
This is the vicious cycle of violence the Rohan Levy Foundation is trying to stop. It provides college scholarships and started the Flatbush Leadership Academy, a 7-month stipend-based program for young African-American men in Brooklyn, ages 16 through 24.
We have young men that's going to college, but things are happening before they even get to college.
What's the most important thing you learned in the Leadership Academy?
Funny enough, leadership. Basically trying to mold us to become something greater. It takes all of us young men who may be doing nothing, just hanging around on a Saturday, and it brings us somewhere where we can learn valuable life skills.
Career-building skills and exposure, an investment that could mean the difference between life and death.
I know that summer we had a lot of violence, a lot of crime, a lot of shootings that look just like these young men. They are the success story for the summer. They are the success story.
Darla Miles, Channel 7, Eyewitness.
Yeah, man, and it's just amazing that these sisters think that who's president is going to fix this. When they focus 99% of their attention on something that's like getting struck by lightning. Getting killed by a police officer is like getting struck by lightning. The reason most black people feel like they know somebody who's been struck by lightning, the reason black people think they know somebody who's been affected by police killings or police brutality is because it's been beaten over their head. They really think they know Michael Brown. They really think they know Trayvon Martin. They really think they know Walter Scott. They really think they knew Philando Castile. The majority of black people who are not in gangs and not in fucking street crews and cliques don't know anybody who's been killed by the police. It's just the indoctrination, the constant 24-hour messaging that makes you think you actually know these motherfuckers. So you feel like you know about 20 motherfuckers who've been killed by the police.
Uphill battle we face, being forcibly subjected and told what to do by a government that no one who looks like us had anything to do with it being established. This is the grossest injustice of our time.
One night, I had a dream, and I jumped out of my sleep. There was like this whole vision before me of a graveyard with tombstones in it of various people who had recently died in America. Usually they died with some act of injustice. And I just wanted to do an artistic rendering, like in 3D, for people to come by who felt like it and looked at it and let it talk or speak to them.
George Perry Floyd Jr., October 14th, 1973, May 25th, 2020.
There are people whose stories have become part of our lives. I think being here is a statement of support for this effort by Riverhead.
Sacred name, Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was 26 years old and was beginning to see her hard work pay off. Sacred name, Breonna Taylor. She loved cars and treated her 2019 Dodge Charger like a trusted friend.
This is my home church. I've been coming here since I was born. And I came because, this is important to me. And I feel like it's more important now than ever that the younger generation be more aware of things that are going on instead of things we just been told about. So I feel like, more people need to come out and bring awareness to things like this.
I hope that after this experience we're creating, to allow any individual who witnesses it, that something might be stirred up in them, that they might leave saying, I need to do something to benefit myself and the world I live in.
Well, you may have heard of the popular children's book, Brown Bear, What Do You See? An artist wrote a poignant poem modeled after it to empower girls of color. And now its words have been updated after the election of our first female and black vice president. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson has reaction from Brooklyn, where a video has now gone viral.
Brown girl, what do you see?
I see a vice president that looks like me.
Think of it as a powerful new anthem for an entire generation of little girls. Students here at PS 399 in Flatbush reciting the poem Brown Girl, Brown Girl. For Principal Lakeisha Williams, it was music to her ears.
It just fit right in with the motto and vision that I have for our school here at Shine 399.
The poem was written by Chicago-based poet Leslie Honore. This version is slightly different. Leslie actually wrote the poem in 2016 and updated the piece on the heels of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's historic win. Miss Williams spotted the poem, shot this video, which Harris's niece saw, reposted, and last check it had 69,000 views and growing.
It made me feel great because, it makes me feel better about my skin color.
Miss Williams was surprised but happy her video went viral.
Yes, we focus on academics, but guess what? You have to also focus on social-emotional learning. You have to focus on culturally responsive education. So it's all a part of what school represents in 2020.
Leslie tells me when she saw the video, heard the kids reading her poem, she lost it. She was thrilled. Like so many others, she doesn't underestimate the impact Harris is having, saying, if you can see it, you can be it.
I want to be a hairstylist and a model. I want to be a doctor to help people.
Next stop, they're hoping January, D.C., the inauguration.